I'm now going to demonstrate a dumbbell lateral shoulder raise. This exercise begins by its starting position. This is achieved by the feet and knees, hips all facing forward, feet taken about hip width to shoulder width apart, and we want the knees slightly flexed. The flexion of the knees should be maintained throughout the duration of the exercise. The dumbbell positioning will be just in front of the thighs with the palms facing each other. This is known as neutral position. The head will look straight ahead, ensuring that there is a neutral positioning of the head, no hyperextension or flexion. The shoulders should be placed back, retraction of the scapulas, and we want to ensure that the sternum and chest are up and out. We also want to ensure that the arms are not hyperextended throughout the duration of the exercise, but there's slight flexion in the elbow. This is our starting position. We're going to begin the exercise by working into the concentric contraction. This is achieved by taking the dumbbells up and out to the sides of the body. At this point, we want to ensure that movement is only occurring at the shoulder and not at the elbow joint. We want to ensure that the wrists are stiff and the elbows remain in a flexed position. We want the upper arm, elbows, forearms, and dumbbells to be all within the same vertical plane. We want to ensure that the body remains in a stationary position. This means that we don't want any shrugging of the shoulders, hyperextension of the spine, any extension of the knees, or rising up onto the toes to help bring the weight up into the lateral position. Finally, when we're working into the concentric phase, we want to ensure that the arms are parallel to the floor, and this is achieved about shoulder level. So I'll show you the concentric phase one more time. Now we're going to work into the eccentric portion of the contraction. This is achieved by working in a slow and controlled manner. During this movement phase, we want to ensure that the body remains in the stationary position as stated before. We want to make sure that the toes are pointing forward, knees, hips are in a neutral position towards the front, shoulders back, head in the neutral position, staring at a point in front of you. The wrists will be stiff and the elbows will maintain that flexed position. We don't want any movement within the body, meaning we don't want extension of the knees, forward flexion of the torso, or any weight being brought down towards the toes. Once we work down into the eccentric contraction, we want to work in the slow, controlled manner, moving the dumbbells at the same rate. The dumbbells will come back in front of the thighs. During the rep, we don't want the client to come back down into the starting position and bounce the weight off the thighs to help with the next repetition. Ensure that it's coming down in front of the thighs. So I'll show you a couple reps. I want to ensure that we're engaging the core, maintaining flexion of the knees, elbows, sternum up and out, head neutral, the knees, feet, and the hips are all facing forward, and bringing the dumbbells up to the lateral, parallel to the floor at shoulder level. Once the client has completed the set, they're going to flex at the knees and the hips, slightly at the torso, to bring the dumbbells back safely beside them. As the client works through the lateral raise, fatigue may ensue and they can turn the exercise into a neck or back exercise due to shrugging. As the client works through the concentric phase, during the lower portion of the raise, fatigue may ensue and assistance may be needed. At this point, the trainer can take the wrist and help through the concentric phase. As they lower back down, assistance may not be needed at this point. This allows the trainer to assist the client with the load as they move through the full range of motion. At this point, the trainer will also want to ensure that the exercise is not turning into a neck or back exercise due to shrugging. Standing behind your client is a great position to take to both verbally and proprioceptively cue the lifter. If the back or the neck continues to take over, go through with that, Adam, you can proprioceptively or verbally cue these areas for less activation. Proprioceptively touching the medial deltoid to engage this muscle will help alleviate the activation of the neck or the back. You'll want to continue to verbally cue the placement of the feet, hips, shoulder, and head, making sure to look straight ahead at a point on the wall. And you can also verbally or proprioceptively remind the client to retract the scapulas by pinching the structures together. This also allows you to help assist with the load when needed.